My dad said he would never give me the family business in favor of my older brother, even though I'm very good at it, so I decided to leave, and I'm unintentionally taking their biggest client on my way out. Posted by you/Teleisis. My dad has a business that my brother and I work for. My dad wants to leave the family business entirely to my older brother. He says it makes the most sense because my older brother is his oldest child and has been in this business the longest. He has a business degree and knows much more about the business side of this work. While I do the physical aspect of the job very well, I was a bit impulsive when I was younger, so he doesn't think it would be a good idea for me to be in charge. To be honest, I don't think it would be either, but considering how much I contribute to this business and that I am his son too, I think I should at least get some say in the future of the business and a stake in the company. Not even half, but some. In the end, my father said no, but that I would get some money after he died. The whole thing really pissed me off, and I was starting to get bitter continuing to work there and be around them, so I gave my 2 weeks notice. I've just been trying to keep a neutral demeanor the whole time. This week is my last week, and Jared, the guy who represents our biggest client, was asking if I could take care of this other project next week. So I told him I would pass that along to my brother, but that I'm not going to be working here next week. Jared and I talk a lot and are pretty friendly with each other because I'm the one who mostly works this job. We've actually hung out outside of work a few times. So he asked why I was leaving. I just said for personal reasons. He asked where I was going to be working, and I told him I wasn't sure yet because there aren't a lot of businesses that need employees with my skills. Anyway, today while I'm working, Jared's boss comes down and asks me if I will consider working for them. He said he's been thinking for a while about doing all this work in-house, but has been having trouble finding someone experienced since it's such a specialized field. He said he's always been very happy with my work, and that's why they always request me. He offered me a 3-year contract, and the salary is so much more than I would ever have made at my dad's company. Plus, it comes with benefits and an office. Not sure what I'll do with an office, but that seems pretty cool. I also get to pick out the equipment, and I can hire 2 employees to work under me. Overall, it's an amazing deal, but I know that losing this client will hit my family's business hard. At the same time, it's not like I was asking for it or trying to steal their client. He was the one who came to me and wanted me. I thought about maybe using this as a bargaining chip with my dad to get some say and stake in the company, but honestly, I don't want to get it that way, and I just don't want to work with either of them anymore. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Not the jerk, it's not personal, it's just business. If he's been thinking about looking for someone specialized in the field, he could have left your dad's firm at any moment once said person showed up. Will it be awkward or will your family be upset? Maybe, but you gave your notice, and they haven't attempted to retain you. You would be the jerk if you tried to leverage this, but as is, you gave your notice, the client was looking for someone to employ. Anyone who has ever employed anyone or had clients knows that people leave or make choices that you may disagree with. Commenter 2. Just want to second this, but please don't use this as leverage or anything like that. Op's response. Don't worry. It was just a fleeting thought. I don't want to work with either of them anymore. Commenter 3. Your dad was being completely unfair. You now have an awesome opportunity, go for it. I would, however, check any employment contracts you have and make sure you're doing it by the book. For example, my old contract stated I couldn't work in a competitor business until 6 months after I left my old place. Op's response. I'm pretty sure mine didn't have any competitor clause. It was really short, like 2 paragraphs long. I'll check again later, though, when I get back to the office. Commenter 4. Obviously Jared and his company respect/value your work more than your brother and father. I can't believe your brother didn't even try to fight for you to get some kind of stake in the company. I would be pissed. Like everyone else has said, you're just another employee. Screw that. On the flip side, if you take this job, be prepared for your father to take you out of his will and leave you nothing. That seems like a real possibility from the way it sounds. Don't let that stop you from taking a great job opportunity. I would take the job offer. I wouldn't start for a couple of weeks after you leave, though. Then tell your father and brother about a week before you start. I would also ask Jared and his company if, after 3 years, they plan to renew contracts and keep the position. Basically, find out how secure the job is in the future. By the way, the fact that you put in your 2-week notice and they didn't even try to retain you says a lot. A. They think you'll come crawling back and they're your only option. B. They don't care. C. Maybe they think you were trying to use your notice as a bargaining chip for a stake, and they showed they weren't budging on their decision. Op's response. When I put in my 2 weeks notice, they did offer me a small salary bump, but honestly, it felt more like an insult at this point. Commenter 5. Do you know how much money they pay your dad's company for the work? The new company may be taking advantage of you and your family by hiring you and quitting business with your dad. Op's response. They definitely pay my dad's company a lot more to do the work. but the salary they're offering me is more than what the high end of someone in my position normally makes. I wouldn't expect to make as much as a subcontractor would since I'm not the one paying for all the expenses and equipment. Op adds an edit to his post. I really regret putting the whole bargaining chip thing in this post. People seem to keep focusing on me doing that when I say right afterward that I don't want to and don't even want to work with them anymore. It was just a fleeting thought, guys. Op adds a second edit to his post. Seriously, guys, I'm not actually planning on bargaining or negotiating with my dad or brother. Update 1 month later. So it's been a while since my first post, and things have been settled. I felt like a good number of you all said it was okay to take the job. There were a few who said I should give my dad and brother a heads up that this was all happening before I accepted the job, so as not to blindside them. So that's what I did the day after I made my original post. The talk itself didn't go so smoothly, though. They got pretty angry. My dad said this was a reason why it would have been bad to give me part of the business, because I'm selfish and only think of myself, when he's trying to keep over a dozen people employed. My brother said I was basically betraying the family because I didn't get something that I didn't really deserve from them. I didn't exactly want to stay around them anymore after that, so I just walked out early that day and decided not to finish out the rest of the week as I was going to. Later, I called to formally accept the job. The equipment we ordered only arrived last week, so I've basically just been paid to stay at home and do nothing for the first few weeks. It was actually nice to have a break from everything before diving into work again. It's been pretty great at the new place, though. My new workspace is a lot different, nicer, than my dad's shop. It's wide and open. It has air conditioning and assigned parking, so no more fighting for a spot on the street. The office they gave me isn't huge, but it's also nice. Like I said in my previous post, I don't have much use for an office, but it's still nice to have a private place to myself, especially one with a mini fridge. Overall, I definitely feel much more appreciated here than I ever felt working with my dad. Speaking of which, I haven't talked to my dad or brother since, and I don't think I will. I heard from Jared that right after I had left, after talking to them about the job, they called my new boss and tried to deter him from hiring me. I also heard from a cousin that my dad's business isn't doing so well right now. They had to let some people go and are downsizing. Some of their other clients had shut down their businesses due to COVID. So that, combined with losing their big client permanently, hit them hard. Anyway, there's not much more to say than that. Many of you were right in that it all likely did permanently damage my relationship with my father and brother, but I still want to say thank you to everyone who encouraged me to take the job. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. My dad said this was a reason why it would have been bad to give me part of the business, because I'm selfish and only think of myself when he's trying to keep over a dozen people employed. My brother said I was basically betraying the family because I didn't get something that I didn't really deserve from them. They're mixing up cause and effect. Business partners are responsible for looking out for the well-being of the business. Employees are responsible for doing a job in return for money. Your father and brother made a decision that you are an employee instead of a business partner, and now they're mad at you for acting like an employee instead of a business partner. If they actually wanted you to act in the best interests of the business, instead of seeking the highest pay and best working conditions for the job you are paid to do, they should have cut you in as a part owner so that it would actually be one of your responsibilities. Commenter 2. Who's to say Jared's company wouldn't have gone with someone else to bring things in-house either way, leaving all of you screwed? You left because your family didn't value you enough to tie you into the company. You're better off, and they're only now realizing the impact you had while you were there. Commenter 3. In the original post you said you'd be able to hire a couple of people to work under you. Any chance you can hire 2 people that were laid off from the family business? Op's response. I actually already hired people before I found out about the layoffs. Commenter 4. Nothing Op did was going to be right. Work for the family, wrong. Find work in the same field, wrong. Op could have cured cancer, and his dad would have found a reason he was the jerk.